Yes, good morning, students. Once again, I'm summing up the first two stanzas, then we'll continue with the next part. Okay, as we have seen that this poem, An Elementary School Classroom in Islam by Stephen Spender, gives us the theme of social injustice and the inequalities, class inequalities, as you have read in the chapter 2, Lost Spring, also the same idea. Here also, we are getting the same idea of social injustice being done to these children who are living in the slum, and class inequalities. That means the difference between the rich and the poor people, how they are exploited of their opportunities and their enjoyments. In the first stanza, we have read that these children are very far away from the natural surroundings, and their faces are just like the rootless weeds having no secure future. Their hair are scattered on their paler, that means pale and puckered face, which shows about their malnutrition, that they are not getting proper food, and it shows about their physical and the mental weaknesses. Clear. Then we are given the description about some students who are sitting in the classroom of that slum area. There is one tall girl who has weighed down her head due to the worries and tensions. Then one paper seeming boy, that means a boy who was very thin, just like a paper. He was also sitting in the class, but he has rat's eyes. That means very keen observation, to observe the things very carefully. Then there is one boy shown who is not having proper growth, and he is reciting, that means thinking about the Gnarl disease, which he has inherited from his father, the disease that is of bones and the joints. And he has got this disease in inheritance from his father. So he is not having interest in the lessons that are being recited in the class, but he's thinking about only about that problem or the disease which he has got. Then we are told about one boy who is sitting at the back of that dim class, who is unnoticed, he's sweet and young, and he has a dream in his eyes, just like the squirrel that plays in the tree room, in the hollow space of the tree, going inside and coming outside. That is the symbol of freedom. Squirrel enjoys its freedom in the same way that boy also wants to have freedom, which is curtailed to him. He's not allowed to go out of that slum area, and he's confined to those walls only, but still they have dreams. So what we are told about this, all these children who are living in that slum area, they are going to this elementary school in the slum area, but they are not interested in the studies. They are worried, they are burdened with the problems which they are facing in their life, how they are to lead their life, what is their future, what they have to do. But still we can see that these children also have dreams, desires, just like the other children, but they are not fulfilled. They don't get the opportunities and the chance to fulfill those dreams and their desires. Then in the second stanza, we are told about the classrooms. Classroom scene is given to us that the walls of that room are sour cream. Sour cream shows the very dullness, not having bright colors. Then there are some pictures on the walls, just like Shakespeare's had natural scene, civilized domes of the different cities showing the development of the different cities, the Tyrolese Valley of Austria, natural scene of flowers and the bells that shows about the music and the good things. And then we are told that there is an open-handed map that is drawn by the historians, which is showing the picture of the whole world. But these all pictures, which are donated by someone, are not presenting them any knowledge, are not giving these children any knowledge. Whereas the purpose of these pictures on the walls and just to represent in the class, to hang all these pictures or to show the development or to give natural scene, is to give happiness and knowledge to these children. But these children are not getting anything. That's why it is said that these pictures or these things are not serving as windows. Window is a symbolic word used here that gives the knowledge about outside world, fresh air and the light. But here, these things are not working as windows. That means they are not giving them any knowledge, they are not giving them any light, they are not making them aware about the outside world. They are restricted only to their classroom. So this map is also not serving, because the map is given to give the good view of the things to the students, good picture of the outside world, of the history of something, about the great knowledge of the history or the geographical knowledge. But these students, these children are not getting this knowledge. And because this word is not represented in that map, their word is the different word, their word belongs to the slum area only. And then in the next lines we are described about their word, that their word is, that is full of fog, where their future is painted with the fog. That means their future is foggy, misty, not clear. They are not having any secure future. What they are going to do in their future is not clear to them. So it is not visible to them. It is bleak, full of mist. A narrow street sealed in with the lead sky, far, far from rivers, capes, and stars of wisdom. Then, continuing with the same idea that their word, their future is full of mist and they don't have any secure future, the poet wants to say that the slum area where they are living is having only narrow streets which are sealed from the other side with the lead sky. Lead sky here refers to the dull and the grayish sky. The limits, that means there is no limit for them. There is only the boundary that is set for them of those only narrow streets, which seems as if they are closed with the sky. When you look into a closed street, ऐसे लगता है कि जो sky है वो नीचे की तरफ झुका हुआ नजर आता है. So these children, they feel that their narrow streets are closed with the lead sky and they don't get any way to come out of those streets. Far from rivers, capes, and stars of wisdom. This line means that their world, that means the area, the slum area where these children are living, is far, far away from the natural surroundings, from the rivers, from the mountains, the capes, and the wisdom of the word. Stars of words means the stars which are in the sky, which are giving light to others. But here it refers to the wisdom or the knowledge which they can get from the outside world. But these children are not getting any of these things which the other people are enjoying, because they are confined to that slum area only. This is the only word for them, which is bleak, which is misty, full of fog, not giving any clear vision to them and not telling them anything about their future, which is insecure. They are not having secured future. Coming to the third stanza, surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits of stones. All of their time and space are foggy slum, so blot their maps with slums as big as doom. Now, in this stanza, we are given again the picture of their slum area and the condition of these children, how they are leading their life. It is continued with the classroom scene, that the room, on the walls of that room where we have seen so many pictures are there, so many portraits are there. They say, surely Shakespeare is wicked, the map a bad example. But for these children, of the slum area who are sitting in that elementary school classroom in the slum area, the picture of Shakespeare is wicked. Wicked means it is bad for them because it is not giving them any knowledge. The great personality of Shakespeare is not going to teach them anything. They are not going to have any knowledge, no learning from Shakespeare, what the great things are being taught by this great personality. They don't have any knowledge of that. That they are not worried about that because it does not link with their life. The map a bad example, and the map that is hanging in their class to give them knowledge about the word, it is also bad example because they have nothing to learn about that word, because their word, that is the slum area, is not represented in that map. So this map is also a bad example for them. They are not getting good idea. Example is given to make the thing more clear. But this map is not giving them any clarification about their word, because they cannot see their slum word in that map. So it is considered as a bad example by those children, with ships and sun and love tempting them to steal for lives that slyly turn in their cramped holes from fog to endless night. These children, they are tempted, they are attracted by the ships, by the sun and the love. These are all the outside feelings or the activities or the things which they are curtailed of, which they are not able to enjoy. Ships, the things which are being loaded and unloaded, the sun which is providing light and heat to all, the feeling of love, all these attractive things tempt them, and they wanted to go outside to enjoy all these things. But again they are taken back to their slum area, because they are not allowed to go outside. They don't have the sources to go outside and any opportunity to go outside and enjoy all these things. So they are secretly, slyly means secretly, turned back into their cramped holes. Cramped holes are here again referred to their slum area, the areas which are just like the holes कि बहुत dingy cells उनके बने हुए हैं, छोटे छोटे rooms गंदगी से भरे हुए, where they are taken back secretly, their lives turn back again into those holes, and they are not able to go out and enjoy all the activities outside, just like the ships, the rising and the setting of the sun, the feeling of love, and going meeting their friends and others in their life. So these type of things which attract them, they want to enjoy these things, they want to go outside and enjoy, but once again they are turned back secretly to their cramped holes, that means into their slum area, from fog to endless night. So their life starts with the fog, and it is just like a night which is endless. That means it starts with their misty life, foggy light day, and it ends with their night. Their whole life ends like this. That means total darkness and misty life they are leading. They don't have any light and knowledge in their life. On their slag heap, these children wear skins peeped through by bones and spectacles of steel, with mended glass like bottle bits on stones. These children, what is their condition? They just roam here and there on the slag heap, as you have read in the second chapter, Lost Child, Spring also, that they search on the garbage dumps. In the same way, here also the same picture is presented, that these children, they roam here and there on the slag heaps, that means on the heaps of garbage, gandagi ke dher laga hue hain, and they search the things in that. And these children are physically so weak that the wear skins peeped through by bones, that their skin is visible, we can peep through their bones through their body. That means they are so physically thin that their bones are visible, and spectacles of steel with mended glass. And these children, if they suffer from any problem, if they suffer from the problem of eyesight, they have weak eyesight, and they need to wear the spectacles which are made of steel, or how they have that frame with mended glass like bottle bits on stone. Note down the simile used here, like bottle bits on stones. The glasses which are used in their spectacles, in the frame of their spectacles, in the steel frame, that is from taken from the bottle bits on stones. कि उन stones के ऊपर किसी ने जैसे bottles तोड़ी हुई हैं, उनके bits, उनके टुकड़ों को जोड़कर उनके spectacles के glasses जो हैं वो बने हुए हैं, कि जो spectacles के अंदर उनके जो glass लगा हुआ है, that are the bits of the pieces that are taken from the stones of the broken bottles. टूटी हुई bottles के जैसे टुकड़े जो हैं वो उठाकर उन ग्लासेस को जोड़कर, उन पीसेस को जोड़कर, उनका स्पेक्टिकल्स के ग्लास जो हैं वो बने हुए हैं. दैट मीन्स दे आर नॉट एबल टू अफोर्ड इवन दैट. व्हाट द आइडिया द पोएट वांट्स टू कन्वे हियर इज that they don't have that much money, even that if they suffer from any disease, if they suffer from any problem, किसी तरह की भी कोई उनको problem या health wise कोई भी difficulty आती है, that they don't have the money even to buy the things which are needed. As for the eyesight, if they have weak eyesight, they need to wear spectacles, but they are not able to afford that even. And what they are doing, they are getting the frame, steel frame of someone And as we have read in the previous chapter, also in the second chapter, that there was a boy who was wearing the discarded shoes that have been thrown by some rich boy. And that was a dream come true for that boy who had never worn it. The same is here, that if they are to do something for their eyesight, they have to take the frame of steel that has been thrown by someone, and then they mend the glass of that frame, in that frame, through the bits, through the pieces of the bottle that have been broken by someone on the stones, like bottle bits on stones, that their glass that is used in that frame are the pieces that have been taken from the broken bottles. All of their time and space are foggy slum. So the poet says that whole of their time and their space, that means their lifetime, is spent in that slum area, which is foggy. Again, showing no light, no knowledge, no air, fresh air they are having. That is foggy, misty, not visible clearly. So blot their maps with slum as big as doom. Note down again the simile used in the last line, as big as doom. And what the poet says, so blot their maps. So the maps which are hanging in their class is just like a blot. Blot means a stigma, जिसको कहते हैं ना, एक कलंक है, कि उनकी क्लास में अगर एक मैप लगा हुआ है उनको नॉलेज देने के लिए, तो ये एक उनके लाइफ के ऊपर एक कलंक है, बिकॉज दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू गेट एनीथिंग आउट ऑफ दैट मैप. उस मैप से वो कुछ भी सीखने वाले नहीं हैं, क्योंकि उनकी अपनी दुनिया उसमें नहीं है. वो सारी उनको अट्रैक्ट करती है दुनिया, लेकिन वो वहां पहुंच नहीं पाते. दे कैन नॉट एंजॉय दोज थिंग्स विच आर शोन थ्रू द मैप, थ्रू द पोर्ट्रेट्स, थ्रू द पिक्चर्स इन देयर क्लास. It is there to give them knowledge, but they are not getting any knowledge because their word is not shown in that, so they are not interested in that. So these pictures, these portraits, all are useless for them. That's why they say Shakespeare is wicked and map is a bad example. So the poet says the map that is hanging in their class is a blot on their life. Blot means a stigma on their life, with slums as big as doom, because they are living in those slums which are as big as doom. Doom here refers to the living hells. जैसे कि वो जिंदा नरक में रह रहे हों. Doom here refers to the living hells. It's not the place of heaven, good place to live in. It's a very bad and dirty place to live in where these people are living. So they refer to their place, their slum area, as the doom, that is living hell where they are living. So all those things which are shown in their class in the form of pictures, portraits, and the natural scenery, the valley, the, you can say, the civilized world that is shown, that shows the development of the whole world, it is not giving them any knowledge, and they are not interested in anything, because their whole world is not their whole world. What is their whole world? Their world is only the slum world, the area where they live. Their area is not included in that map, so these all things are useless for them. Unless governor, inspector, visitor, this map becomes their window. That shut upon their lives like catacombs. Break, oh break, open till they break the town, and show the children to green fields, and make their world run azure on gold sands, and let their tongues run naked into books. The white and green leaves open, history theirs, whose language is the sun. Please note on very important line, and the last line, oft repeated line, which is very in the last stanza, what the poet wants to say, the poet has made an appeal to all the rich class people for the betterment of these children. The poet Stephen Spender is worried about the social injustice these children are facing, and the